boy, where you been? It's TeeJay the Artist. You rock with me. You are the smartest. And we back with another video, man. We got fan versus hater this time. Is one James Harden fan versus 10 James Harden haters. This ought to be interesting. Because I didn't know that James Harden had like super level fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? To the point where they're like, hey, they gonna argue on his behalf a lot. We don't get a lot of those. So this is gonna be interesting. We're gonna break this up into parts. This is an hour-long video, so we're gonna break it up in parts. But we're gonna get through it together. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Get into the video. Fan versus hater. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit?
If someone ever gave me $100 million, I would not call them out. I would be spending money in the club just like James.
Every time you see an ISO right now in the NBA and you're seeing tween cross, that's all James Harden.
You a coach. Would you want your player doing herky-jerky plays?
Yeah, because, well, certainly Harden...
Really? How many games do you win?
Harden is the guy who would still hit that player and create the open shots for them. I'm Coach Nick, and I'm here to defend...
Oh, and he's a coach.
James Harden in front of all these haters.
Here we go.
Sorry, Nick.
What do you say? Let's get started.
All right, what's the first claim?
My first claim is that James Harden will retire as a top 3 shooting guard of all time.
Just name your top 3 shooting guards right now. James Harden is not your top 3. He might not even be top 4, top 5. Could he be top 5? Jordan, number 1. Kobe, number 2. 3 is clearly Dwayne Wade. It's Dwayne Wade. 4, shooting guard. Okay, he might be 4 at that shooting guard spot. He might be 4, but I'm sorry, I can't place you in front of Dwayne Wade. Now, it depends on if you have Allen Iverson as a shooting guard, because he's kind of a combo guard, and that's another side of it, because I think he's listed as a shooting guard. So it's like, is AI versus James Harden the thing? Let's look up some top shooting guards. Let's just look up shooting guards in the NBA. Shooting guards, NBA. Let's just put of all time or something. Let's see what we have. Let's just see some pictures of people. Reggie Miller. They got T-Mac on here. T-Mac wasn't a shooting guard. I think he was more of a small forward. Klay Thompson. Manu Ginobili. Joe Dumars. Vince Carter. I can't give him. He better than Bradley Beal. Oh, was Jerry West a shooting guard? Oh, you can't be better than the logo, baby. Oh, nah. They got Jerry West as a shooting guard. Oh, I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry, James. You can't do that. Oh, yeah, you might not be top 5 at all if Jerry West is a shooting guard. I thought Jerry West was a point guard. Oh, no. Top 5 shooting guard. They got James right here, and they do have Allen Iverson as a shooting guard. Jerry West. Okay. Jerry West position. Let's find out. Point guard / shooting guard. So now that kind of... Oh, well, you can't be... I'm sorry. Do you consider Jerry West a point guard or a shooting guard? I believe they're having him as a shooting guard. Okay, so he started off as a shooting guard, but he was a... Okay, no. All right, so he's out. He's out. But I've seen some other people on there. He's not top 3, bro. Sorry, he's not top 3, but let's see what y'all got to say.
Okay, so who is in your top 3 right now?
Well, it's got to be MJ.
Okay.
And then I'll put Harden in there.
No.
Oh, and then you putting them at 2. You ain't even. Well, I thought you at least had him at 3. He put him at 2. You crazy.
Kobe.
What about Wade?
Probably Kobe.
Wade is close. I guess you can argue that his prime was a little short.
Okay, he's still got 3 championships. That has to matter.
Championships do matter, but you got to remember who Harden had to play with, right? Doesn't that count?
Harden.
Oh, now you're gonna use the card of who he had to play with. Now you don't want to go down that road. James Harden has played with a bunch of superstars, bro. He played with a lot of superstars. I don't think you want to go down that road, because when he got to Houston, at first he was by himself, but then they brought in Chris Paul, they brought in Dwight Howard. I believe they brought in Dwight Howard first, then they brought in Chris Paul, they brought in Russell Westbrook. They brought in a lot of people for you. You didn't do anything with it. Then you left. You went and played with Embiid. Didn't do anything with that. Then you went over to Brooklyn. Didn't do anything with that. I mean, regardless of what happened. Then you play with you're playing with now Kawhi Leonard, and so you can't use that card. Oh, look who he played with. Nope.
Wasn't playing with scrubs his entire career.
Well, certainly when he was at his prime, at his height, he's passing to Austin Rivers.
You're right.
You're not gonna do that Houston team like that, bro. Dwight was there.
Right, and at his prime and at his height, he was also falling significantly short in the playoffs. Do you want me to list it?
Go ahead.
2015 game 5 against the Warriors, had 11 turnovers, shot like 2 of 12.
Yikes.
2017 lost to the Spurs without Kawhi, got blown out on his home court, had single-digit points. I believe Stephen A. Smith said he should be drug tested.
Yikes.
Falls in game 7 in 2018. Yes, Chris Paul was hurt, but it's not a great look if you lose game 7 on your home court. Game 7 against Boston when he was in Philly, I think at single digits. Even just last year against Denver, single digits, they get blown out by the Nuggets. Like, I fully agree with you from the standpoint of, like, yes, championships aren't everything, but at the same time, like, they do still mean something. And when you've fallen laughably short time and time again, like, I can't give you the benefit of the doubt.
Well, there's a lot of great players that we wouldn't argue with who should be in the top 5 of their position who didn't win championships. So the problem we have here is that part of it is the way they did heliocentric offense in the Houston Rockets. So it's not surprising to me that he's going to get to the playoffs and have nothing left. I think it's more of a fault of the coaching and of the way they designed the roster to do that versus that. He was playing 38, 39 minutes a game in the regular season during those years. That's not fair for anybody to have to go to the playoffs where you're going to see a natural drop-off of your production no matter what. We always see that no matter what when you have teams that are loading up and know how to prepare. So I think that's much more of a problem with the fact that the style of play they were doing than it was. Certainly,
the style of play was made like that because of James Harden.
Houston than it was anything else.
But they literally brought Chris Paul in to sort of change that, right? To sort of have multiple ball handlers. It worked the first year, but then the second year, Chris Paul and James Harden started hating each other because James Harden wouldn't give up the ball. So, like, you could argue it was the coach, but I could also argue it was James Harden didn't want to relinquish the ball because he wanted to put up those numbers. He wanted to be in control.
Yeah, they don't make a system. I am the system.
Fully. And so, like, that's totally fine. Put up your stats. But then you can't have it both ways, because then when the time comes in the playoffs, like, yeah, that's why you're exhausted. It's your own fault.
I think that the Chris Paul thing, he was kind of a shell of himself by that point anyway. So I think he was responding to that, knowing that he doesn't really want to have to give it up to Chris Paul, who didn't really have. He was already 32, 33
Wasn't
at that
he an
point.
all-star his
and he was
first year in
breaking down.
Houston?
And he broke down, and he couldn't even make it through the playoffs anyway. And that's really what hurt them too.
All right, so top 3. Whenever we're talking about
This guy is a good debater, but he has like he's like how do I put it? He's really like straight to the point a little bit, and like he's like, well, define this word. Like, he's that type of person.
the most elite players of all time, we have to hold them to the highest standards. So I think we can both agree here. He's not in Michael Jordan's caliber, so we can knock that off the list. He's not in Kobe's caliber. We can knock Kobe off the list. So now we can get to the third spot. And like he just said, we can talk about Dwayne Wade.
Yep.
When it matters the most, you talked a lot about bodies breaking down, but a lot of what being an athlete is making the sacrifice and playing through injuries, which is exactly what Dwayne Wade did, right?
Yeah.
Dwayne Wade was the finals MVP while he's next to Shaq. He was down in the series and then destroys for the rest of it. Then he brings on LeBron James, and we talk about playing with a co-star or learning to work with the talent around you. Dwayne Wade was able to sacrifice and also keep up elite level of play.
You see, when he talked, he got the hands down. When you do this, you got his ass. when you talk to somebody and you got your hand, you're not, you know what I'm saying, your fingers not spread your fingers out and touch the table when you talk. When you do stuff like this and when you talk, when you got you gotta lock in. You understand what he talking about. You can say anything with your hands open like this and it's gonna make sense. You gotta walk your dog on Thursday. Okay. Nah, he making good points though. He making good points, bro.
And learning to work within the system, bring in LeBron James and Chris Bosh. While you have James Harden, who's played with Kevin Durant, played with Kyrie Irving, played with Chris Paul, played with a bunch of other
Dwight. Are y'all forgetting he played with Dwight?
All-Stars his entire career, but he was still never able to get it done. So we don't even have to go into the playoff collapses. We could just talk about the mentality and what it takes to win. Is he willing to push it there? Time and time again, he showed us no, he's not willing to sacrifice to win.
That's nonsense. He's played through hamstring injuries in the playoffs when they didn't have the full roster. Absolutely. Are you kidding me? New Jersey, he was carrying that team with one leg. So there's no question. And they had the Milwaukee Bucks. They should have beaten them if Giannis hadn't taken out Kyrie with his ankles. They would have had that game.
Well, we can't play shoulda, coulda, wouldas. We got to stick to what actually happened.
Okay, well, so you're saying he didn't want to play through injuries, or wasn't tough enough, I suppose, or whatever.
He's not.
He is. He certainly is.
Every time he's faced with adversity, what does he do? He forces his way out of situations. He shows up the game and says, "I can't do it. Get me out of here." He calls out Daryl Morey and blames Daryl Morey every single time. He has an excuse. Would you ever want James Harden to start a franchise with you? Would you say you would do that?
Well, hang on. Would you call out Daryl Morey if he promised you a nice extension after you took less money to re-sign and to have other players come in to help him, and then not do it?
If someone ever gave me $100 million, I would not call them out. I would be spending money in the club just like James. Okay,
listen,
you know that's what he's good at.
How many players?
He's top 3 club spenders.
How many players have taken a pay cut like that to let other players come in so they can improve the roster?
You can look at anyone who's playing right now. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's taking a pay cut. Stephen Curry took a pay cut. A bunch of players take pay cuts. But let's stick to the claim, right? You can't give me a reason why he's better than Dwayne Wade. He's not better defensively. Dwayne Wade had his peak offensively, averaged 35 points per game in the NBA Finals over the course of 3 or 4 games. James doesn't do that. In fact, when we talk about playoffs, he averages 24 points per game for his career. What does he average in the playoffs?
You're forgetting
22 points per game, which means his efficiency and his scoring doesn't even
drops. He on your ass. He on your ass, but listen. If you don't have Dwayne Wade at number 3, see, you would have been better off if you would have said top 4. You could have said something crazy like he the Mount Rushmore of shooting guards. That means it's 4. You can argue for 4. Can't argue for 3, bro.
He performs way less in the playoffs. When you look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Dwayne Wade, they overperform in the playoffs because that's what top 3 players do.
But you can't ignore the fact that he's also a facilitator. So he's playing 2.
I don't want to hear that. You should. We done seen people in the playoffs. Not only they elevate their scoring, they elevate their assists as well. I don't want to hear it. Oh well, he the reason why he ain't scoring because he passing. No, I don't want to hear that.
2 roles at the same time that Dwayne Wade never had to do.
The same amount of assists that he does in the NBA regular season and playoffs. So the assists don't go up either.
He was on your ass.
All right, how is he better than Kobe? You try to disrespect Kobe. That's why I had to really come here. It didn't make no sense.
Okay.
How? Kobe, D. Wade, Michael Jordan. That's top 3. I'm sorry. You're not a winner. You don't play the basketball game to win. You want to score. You've been babysitted by the NBA for how many years? You think you're the system. That's the problem. Mm-hmm. So wherever you go, you just bring problems.
He sound like he don't know what he talking about. This guy, he sounds like he kind of just, I don't know. It sounds like he don't know what he talking about.
You're a great player. Yes, I'm not knocking that. Top 3, no, because you have to win, unfortunately. To get any type of title in this world, you have to win. That's not what Harden does. You win to get to the playoffs, of course. They build a team around you to win, but you don't get the ultimate win at the end. I'm sorry. That's not what he does. So top 3, you can't do it. Wade did it without LeBron James, right? LeBron James, who you called the GOAT, had to come and do it with D. Wade. That shows how great you are.
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm talking about? You just say he called him the GOAT. I don't remember him saying this is a James Harden thing. Where did that come from?
Kobe came in winning. Left out winning.
That's a lie. Kobe did not come in winning. See what I'm talking about? I knew he ain't know what he was talking about.
He got hurt. That shows how great you are.
Yeah.
I don't have to mention Michael Jordan to you, right?
Yeah, Kobe.
don't.
Kobe came in winning. He did.
He did it?
Yeah. No, he didn't.
He had to learn. Okay, everybody has to learn.
Yeah.
See what I'm talking about? I felt like he didn't know what he was talking about. Get him out the chair.
Yeah. And then who did he have to get as a teammate?
Everybody has to learn.
Who did he play
Get
with?
him out the
Shaq.
chair.
Yes,
And he had to get Phil Jackson in there to run the triangle offense. That was what did it. And then what happened when Phil Jackson
Get him out the chair.
leaves and the team completely falls apart and can't win with Kobe scoring all those points, they had to bring Phil Jackson back and then found Pau Gasol, and then they finally started winning again. That should tell you something about Kobe.
You serious?
Yeah.
You serious?
Yeah.
You serious?
I am serious.
All right, cool.
I'm telling you the facts.
3 rings. 3 rings.
Yeah.
Right?
Look, listen.
3 rings. Me and Shaq average the same amount of points, same everything. It's about production. You go down, I bring us the championship. That's what Kobe did, right?
Yeah.
Then I go on I lost for about 2 to 3 years. Cool. I have to rebuild, right? That's what every team does. That's what Harden been doing his whole career and still hasn't won.
All right. I want you all to close your eyes, and I want you to picture Kobe throwing the ball into Shaq. Now I want you to picture James Harden throwing the ball to Clint Capella.
Dwight Howard. Am I tripping? Did he not play with? Am I tripping? Did James Harden not play with Dwight Howard? He keep trying to like y'all forgetting about this, right? Am I like this happened? Oh, I picture him throwing the ball into Capella. No, he was throwing the ball into him. Are you forgetting, bro? Like, am I tripping? I'm not tripping.
Okay? And then you wonder why he can't get all the way over to them and win a title. I mean, listen.
Dwight.
Think about Austin Rivers playing a major role, or even having Aaron Gordon out there versus the other players they got to play with. I mean, come on.
Disrespect to Eric Gordon one more time. Give me disrespect to Eric Gordon one more time. Let's not mention that Trevor Ariza was on that team. Let's not mention that PJ Tucker was on that team too. See, bro, I ain't with it, Mr. James Harden fan. See, I was gonna root for you in this particular matchup right here because you're going up against Buddy and he don't sound like you know what you're talking about. But I'm on his side.
I have to mention the players that he played with. Do I have to?
Go ahead.
They brought in Chris Paul. Unfortunately, he went down, and Harden is not a great player, so he didn't take that team to the promised land, right?
Chris Paul
that's what great players do. Shaq went down, Kobe won the game for him, right? Right? That's the closest he ever got to anything. I'm sorry.
My next clip.
Yeah. So the haters won that one only because you're saying that James Harden is a top 3 shooting guard. I'm sorry. It's solidified. Jordan, Kobe, Wade. That's it. Sorry. He can be number 4, but even then you'll have to argue who number 4 is, because you still have Allen Iverson out there. You got Reggie Miller out there. You know what I'm saying? You got those players out there. So it's like it's still up for debate, but it depends on your taste. But anyway, that's part 1. Part 2, we're going to get into it. The question will be...
claim is that James Harden is the most influential player of the modern era.
James Harden is the most influential player in the modern era. Oh my goodness. We'll be back in part 2. Peace.